Welcome back to the Mike Bates Show. This is Mike Bates. So we're 25 days from the election. But how many days away are we from knowing the results of that election? Well, that's a good question. Part of the Democrats' strategy is to sow enough confusion about the election process that in the off chance Trump comes out ahead, there will be enough doubt that the Democrats can continue their war against our republic by claiming Trump didn't really win and is therefore illegitimate. You know, kind of like how they fabricated the entire Russian collusion hoax as an insurance policy in case he did beat Hillary. So when will we know who won? Well, Hillary Clinton said Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstances.
Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstances.
Now let me play her words in full to put them in proper context.
Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstances because I think this is going to drag out, and eventually I do believe he will win if we don't give an inch and if we are as focused and relentless as the other side is.
So on election night, I can't imagine either candidate conceding. Joe Biden certainly won't, and Donald Trump doesn't have it in him. So we won't know November 3rd. That much is certain. The consensus is that there will be a red mirage on election night, meaning that on November 3rd, the in-person voting and the early voting will show Trump in a very strong position. But then over the next few days, as the mail-in ballots are counted, some of which are certain to be fraudulent, Joe Biden will gain votes. And the reason for that delay is because 8 states, including the critical swing states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, wait until Election Day to process their mailed-in ballots. Now, Florida will actually announce its mail-in ballots within 30 minutes of the polls closing, because Florida law allows offices to begin verifying signatures on mail-in ballots and feed them into the scanners 22 days before the election, and then leading up and including, obviously, Election Day. Now, the people doing that don't know the results, but the computers doing the tabulation know the results. And Florida law requires the supervisors of elections to report all early votes and tabulated mail ballots within 30 minutes of the polls closing. So Florida will be fine with its mail-in ballot votes. But other states are going to be counting them for weeks. So when will we know who won? Well, the Electoral College votes must be certified by the states and sent to Congress by December 8th, 2020. This is what's called the safe harbor deadline, meaning that certified results submitted by December 8th will count without challenge and will be included when the actual counting of the Electoral College votes takes place before a joint session of Congress on January 6th. On December 14th, the electors for the winning candidates meet in their respective states to actually cast their Electoral College ballot for president and vice president. And they do that in 2 separate votes, one for president, one for vice president. States then have until December 23rd to deliver those official Electoral College certificates to the President of the Senate, which is currently Mike Pence because the VP serves as President of the Senate. If states do not submit their official Electoral College votes by December 23rd, they are given more time to do it. But the Electoral College votes are officially tabulated on January 6th in a joint session of Congress. Now, usually this is just a formality because we know the count long before that. But this year could be different because of all the shenanigans the Democrats will pull if they don't win. On January 6th, at that joint session of Congress, the vice president presides as president of the Senate as each state's certificate is read aloud and tallied. But even that is not all cut and dried when there's the possibility an election can still be stolen. You see, all it takes is one member of the House and one member of the Senate to announce a challenge to the Electoral College vote of any state. And the 2 bodies then break to each debate whether or not to accept the Electoral College votes of the state in question. and both bodies would have to agree to reject them for them to be excluded. If the House and Senate disagree, the Electoral College votes are accepted. But hold on. Don't be picturing a Democrat House voting one way and a Republican Senate voting the other way, and the result being that because they disagree, the Electoral College votes count. We don't know what the composition of the Senate will be, because all this happens on January 6th, which is 3 days after the new House and Senate are sworn in. We don't know if the Republicans will keep the Senate. We don't know the Democrats will keep the House either, but nobody realistically thinks the Republicans can take it back this year. So if Trump ekes out an Electoral College victory, we have the possibility of crooked Democrats in the new House and new Senate refusing to accept the election results from states Trump won. Not all of them, probably. Even Democrats don't want their partisan cheating to be that obvious. But they could object to enough Trump electors that neither Donald Trump nor Joe Biden gets the 270 Electoral College votes needed to win. And that's when the real battle could happen. You see, if nobody gets a majority of the Electoral College vote, the House would choose the president, and the Senate would choose the vice president. Now, on the Senate side, that's pretty straightforward. If the Republicans have a majority, they'll choose Mike Pence. And if the Democrats have a majority, they'll choose Kamala Harris. But on the House side, it's not so simple. If the House chooses, not every member gets an individual vote. Each state gets one vote. So the overall majority of the membership would be irrelevant. What matters is how many states have delegations with Republican majorities and how many states have delegations with Democrat majorities. As of today, the Republicans have majorities in 26 states. What will it be after the election? Your guess is as good as mine. Have I scared you enough for today? How do we avoid this catastrophe? We re-elect Donald Trump by a big enough margin that the Democrats won't be able to steal it. The future of our republic hangs in the balance. I'm Mike Bates. Thanks for listening.